Hello YouTube, welcome to Sunday in the Shop. Today we're going to play with our sharpener, okay? We have changed a few things. We took out the wing nut here, which is like a wing nut on a bolt that went through here, okay? And we replaced the wing nut here with a nut, the same way as on the rod. I was coming up against this part and the wing nut would want to catch. And you could put a couple O-rings on there, which I'm going to go find some O-rings. I should just buy a kit. Okay, we've been playing with this part. This we did change that because the little lock nut and bolt was really not that great. So we have two nuts on here with some blue Loctite. That made that a lot better. There's a lot less play. There's really hardly any play. One big problem, I don't know how you'd ever fix it without putting a bushing in here. There's so much slop in this rod, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to try to take out all the other problems. Okay, we're going to show you how this wobbles, okay? Then what we're going to do, if we can do it on camera here, get a couple rubber bands and they're doubled. We're going to put them over here. We don't want this to be too long a video today. This is just a real quick fix, okay, just to show you how this rides on top. Maybe we can get about this angle, how this rides on top of this bushing right here, this collar. Actually it's a collar. I'm thinking about finding a collar. Now this is like 7mm, not quite. I think I can find something like 1/4 inch and board out, or either way, whatever size I find. I may have one somewhere. This really improves it. That would be the quickest fix for me to do. Instead of remanufacturing the whole thing. It just put a collar here with a little set screw, even if it has an Allen wrench screwdriver. So I get the height I want. Just put it there because that's a pretty smooth surface. I may have to grind some of this bolt head off for it to clear the collar. But it would keep that slop out of there. Because you don't have as much slop now. It's always pulling it down on there, okay? Now, we figured out what this is for. This is to set where you want your blade to go in. Loosen this up. I've watched a lot of videos. Some people use that. Some people put magnets in there. I do not want a knife blade that's magnetized. That's to stop that. Okay, can you see that down in there? Okay, here's something that I learned. You got to fumble with it. This knife may not be in there perfectly centered. We're going to give it snug a little bit. Now my Smith sharpener has two bolts on there. You'll tighten like this one and you jack this one up in the back. Well, that's the same thing as doing this. You take this and push this up as tight as you can. I figured this out on my own, believe it or not. Don't push against there and get your finger on there. Let's get this centered a little bit because we're going to get up close and show you a little bit of the knife sharpening. Said you got to fidget with it. Be careful of this stuff. That's a sharp knife blade. Believe me, I've been sharpening on it so many times. So how I pulled it up and snugged it. Then you can crank down on this a little bit more. Because if you strip this pop metal stuff out, you're going to put a nut on there. And no one's going to want to reach under there with a wrench and tighten that if they don't have to. That's why it has a T-nut. Okay. Now this ain't in here super tight. You can see it wobbles. This is just for demonstration. I had it in there pretty darn tight. Okay. We're blowing out with shadows and stuff here. Earlier I had the light so bright because it's a sunny day. 5 degrees was the low last night. It's going to be up to 20. It's only about 15 out now. Okay. That wing nut was in the way, but I just didn't like the looks of it. If I can get rid of them. And back here too, I put a nut instead of a wing nut. And this is the kit I used. Save today. Has 5, 6, and 8mm nuts and bolts in it. This saves from taking a picture. I bought this because they're so cheap, and I build projects like little stoves and stuff, and I bolts for hinges. I don't care if it's metric. I have metric tools. I'm not against metric. Okay, we've done this so much on here. There's really no proper way to do this. People do whatever they want. They may go like this. But for the honing, 1500, that's all carbon out of the steel. I've been going like this. Maybe lifting it. Because this way does not work. I just can't seem to get that. But I have been going like this. I have been pulling back. And I know I need to get a wood base press. I'm looking for some wood. I don't want to cut up my nice piece of plywood, the only wood I have laying around. Now we're going to try to get you in here real close. Okay. We'll see what happens. I don't know if you can see that or not. What we're going to try to do is try to change this by doing this and see if you can see how it looks. Can you see the difference in that? That is scrubbing it, making little scratches. I said you could do this. When I was sharpening, I was going like this. This is the knife I'm practicing on. It is not a valuable knife. I have done this on knives with my other sharpener with the Arkansas stone, and I've got out on the end where it doesn't matter if I hurt it on my Smith sharpener, and went like this on blades, and actually rubbed it back and forth. I said, so there's no actual way of, see if you can see that again. You might not be able to because of the camera angle. If you can see it changing what it looks like. Okay, we'll bring it back out. The other way. Okay, we'll pause and we'll stop and think of a few other things I want to show you because we're looking at the video. It's already up to 7 minutes. So if you're still hanging in here, we'll come back with a couple other things here. Because this has gotten boring to me already. I've done this for hours. I was at her last night till who knows what time playing with this thing. Like I said, we can zoom over to the rod there, but we'll take a break, we'll come back, we'll think of something else to show you that we've done with this. Okay, run out of things. You could probably imagine with the wing nut, you wasn't going to get that close. I said I can put an O-ring on there because I'm actually hitting this piece that sticks out with a nut first. So if I stack a couple O-rings, it kind of act like a cushion when I come in like that. Oh, and the angle. I have a cheapy junky angle finder. I just bought one. I'm just too embarrassed to show the plastic piece of junk. Very few videos they mention how to do this. You'd have to be on a flat level table to use one of them digital things to be accurate, them little cubes. Okay, this is what I figured out. This knife sets at a 20-degree angle. If this is flat, okay, then you're right on it. Okay, the trick is to take some Sharpie marker and put on the edge. Now you're going to see it still up on the blade, but you'll see it disappear. Is to guess on your knife, you know, use a fine stone. Use one of your finest ones when you're first guessing. And say that I didn't have it right and I was off. I would go like this and you would not erase all of the stuff. I don't know if you can see that little bit of marker left. I just thought I'd show that tip. I do not like this handle. Like I said, it goes up and down. I'm going to put a ball on here. But I like the weight. And another thing we're thinking about putting some weight out here. Because on my Smith sharpener, I used to always put my finger there. If you ever watch me use it, I'd talk how I put my fingers like this to hold that thing down. Because it went in a slot. It was all sloppy. I think about adding some weight out here. Because this is going to be sloppy all the time. I mean, you can see, look at how that hole is oval shaped. There's already wear in this zinc pop metal stuff, whatever they call it, from using this rod just in 1/2 a day playing with it. You can see the wear inside of it. So I'm thinking about putting some weight on here so this doesn't tend to want to go. So if it's on a board, you'll be able to see it better. But once it's down, it's down. I'm not a professional. This will sharpen my knives. Trust me, this thing is razor sharp. I'll pause again and I'm going to get up close and show you my Kershaw pocket knife. how I changed it a little bit. We'll see if it will come in on close-up camera. Okay, we'll see if this shows up. Let me get a pointer. I'd messed this knife up in my other knife with my wide diamond stones. If you look here, where you see where that's not very shiny right in here, I don't know if this will show up. So it's almost better than this camera when you get back away. Okay, that didn't matter because this is a work knife. That's what I was having trouble with the wide stones. They'd come out here, and it's hard to explain. I watched the guy's video and he said he was wrong. He said the angle changed. Well, he made another video and he was wrong. If you had everything set up scientifically, when you get out on something curved, if you was on a straight bar and you had something going back and forth like this, it's going to be the same all the way through if it pivoted at the end. Well, it's not when something's curved. I mean, if you're real good at that math and all that other trigonometry, oh, I can't even say them big words, you'd be able to know what I'm saying, okay? You start getting out here, you start getting into maybe a different angle that's not the same as here, and a lot of these blades were thicker on the end, so you end up taking more off than what you really want to, which doesn't bother me on a work knife. I wouldn't want to take a real high dollar knife and have it messed up to where the bevel is wider here than it is down here, but we'll take a close-up picture of that. So that's about it for this week. I'll snap a bunch of pictures of this thing again, and I'll try to get a close-up of this knife blade. So thanks for watching, and we'll look forward to seeing you next week.